Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. After receiving some criticism for allegedly putting non-bad gear on bad gear, Roland comes to the rescue. Today we are going to talk about the A-01 controller and generator. This 2016 thing is part of the controversial boutique range, and it does stuff. Sorry for being so vague, but it is not easy to deliver a clear and comprehensive job description of this slick little unit. Its primary mission is to foster communication between other pieces of gear, like tablets, analog synth and everything else with a MIDI port. So far, so boring. But it's also a MIDI controller, and a sequencer, and a dirty, deliberately digital sounding monophonic synth. With Bluetooth. What the? According to Roland, the A-01 is ticking all the boxes. Smooth black metal surface, 4 shiny aluminum knobs,
Aluminium.
2 ribbon controllers, keyless door lock style buttons and a surprisingly usable display, especially by Roland standards. The rear panel is unexpectedly minimalist. It seems like Roland got the message and included full-sized 5-pin MIDI ports, but being used to the ample connectivity of a, let's say, BeatStep Pro, the single pair of CV gate outs is a bit of a disappointment. I'm also not a big fan of the mini jack out, but as the internal signal generator is more of a bonus, I'm sure we can live with that. USB, a little volume pot for the phone's output and internal speaker. That's it. A bit measly for a studio communications centerpiece. If it wasn't for the mysterious blue glow of the Bluetooth logo we can find in the lower right corner of the front panel. The unit offers wireless MIDI, which comes in handy especially if you're looking for a tool to control all that fancy iPad music making apps. I don't have an iPad, but it worked mostly fine with my MacBook Pro. The A-01 is compatible with the Roland Boutique K25M keyboard, but you can connect any other MIDI note generating device using the MIDI in. There are 3 different modes: controller, synth and sequencer. Controller mode is not restricted to standard MIDI messages, but is also capable of sending up to 4 customizable sysex strings. Like on most hardware step sequencers without dedicated knobs for the single steps, programming sequences on the A-01 is a bit fiddly. However, it does have some cool features like an odd-even switcheroo or random patterns, and is mostly self-explanatory. Cutoff and resonance can be recorded too, scale quantization is hidden in the main menu, and tweaking the global gate length with one of the ribbon controllers is nice. Finally, the synth. In its defense, it's one of the best digital Roland synth UIs I've had the pleasure to use. 4 pages, directly accessible, and the designers made clever use of buttons and knobs. I'm impressed, and this is only half sarcastic. It's a monophonic, subtractive, chiptune style 8-bit contraption, and it sounds better than expected. It provides hard PWM, aggressive sawtooth sounds, and some softer tones as well. Build quality is great, you can save presets, but not many, and although there were some drastic blowout sales only 1 year after the release of the A-01, it's not exactly cheap on the used market. The Roland A-01 offers an odd mix of features in a slightly over-designed package. Do people actually need a piece of gear like that? You have already heard the A-01's 8-bit synth in our little intro tune. Certainly not the king of subtlety. Let's have a listen to the raw oscillator and filter in this very dark jam. This is very lo-fi and very digital. However, the synth section offers more versatility than expected. The controls have a clearly audible effect on the sound and it's not overly harsh. The A-01 has yet to prove itself as the centerpiece of a setup. Let's use it in the way I assume it was intended by the manufacturer and push the limits of Bluetooth, MIDI, CV gate, the sequencer and sound generator at the same time. Reverb makes everything better. The 8-bit synth is capable of mellower sounds too, especially in conjunction with external FX. I'm pretty sure that the internal tones of the A-01 were not designed to be endlessly stacked on top of each other. I wanna know what happens if we do exactly that in this bit crush boomers on vodka bull or worse, hyperlodic. I'm still not sure if this one is any good EDM. Verdict. I refuse to deliver a verdict on the A-01. It would be too easy to bash this piece of gear, like so many others did, and I don't want to join the chorus for one reason. While many other Roland products are based on the iconic sound and convincing concepts but tend to be messed up in the execution, the A-01 is the exact opposite. Nice build quality, the controls feel great, the UI is well thought out and it's not even a rip-off of a Roland classic of days long gone. The problem with all this unexpected goodness is, who needs this piece of gear? I assume that Roland intended to target an urban quality-conscious demographic who wants to control small hybrid setups, maybe a little Eurorack, a tablet and a drum machine. It certainly works well in this application, but I'm not sure if the target group even took notice. Who knows? Maybe this is the TB303 of the future and we will be dancing to bit-crushed basslines in 2031 warehouses. If warehouses still exist in 2031. Thanks for watching and see you next time! Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.